in just a moment. Let me show you who we've got here. My name is Adam Clark, otherwise known as Wizard Keen. Some of you might know me from Wonder Quest. I've got Victoria Bennett, who's my wife, and Django.
Hello.
Django. Well, Victoria's going to be talking about her projects as well. She's been using Minecraft and literature and poetry, and then Django on the end. And because, well, he's just our son, we've just got to look after him really, because we're responsible parents. Over to my far right is John Miller. Then we've got Gabrielle. And then we've got Sean as well. And I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves as well. We're going to do a little bit of a presentation each, and we're going to start from this side and run this way. And then afterwards, we're also going to be having a Q&A. So do think about those questions now. That's your only job here, right, is to ask us interesting questions at the end of the panel. And if you can, we're going to have some microphones down the aisles. So if you haven't got a question, go to the aisle and you'll be able to ask that question just to someone on the loudspeaker, because we are being filmed as well. Oh my gosh, not live stream, but we are going to be filmed, so that this whole panel will be on the Mojang channel later on as well. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the special clicker all the way down to John.
Thank you. And my name is John Miller, and I'm a 7th grade teacher here in California. And 7th grade is a challenging grade, and it's an especially challenging grade for where I teach. My students' reading and writing level is pretty low. They're 7th graders, but it's about 3rd or 4th grade. So I have faced a massive challenge to get kids who really don't like to read and really don't like to write to do a better job. And I think in my heart it's because they don't really have anything to write about, that we give them boring things to write about. So about 5 years ago, I discovered Minecraft, like many of you did, and it's really changed the way completely that I approach teaching from now on. I'm much more involved with my students because of Minecraft, and so I'd like to share with you how I've sort of evolved into what I do now. To begin with, world history, it's medieval history here in California, and so I created a unit that runs a year long. So I tell the kids they are time travelers. And this is a shot of our time machine, our time writer. It's actually a build of Blockworks that I've purchased and used with my kids. And so they are chrononauts, and we're traveling through time and space. There's something wrong with history, and there is thanks to Terry Gilliam, there's a time bandit that is around, and he's messing up history. And so our job is to go and fix it and chase the time bandit. That allows me to send the kids from West Africa to China to Japan, throughout Europe, chasing the bad guy. With each and every unit I do, though, there's a lead up to it, and I have a storyline. I've worked with a former colleague of mine who's now retired, and he's a young adult author. And we've taken the history content that is, frankly, it's not presented in the more traditional sense. It's not very interesting. So we take it and put it in a story form, and it's written at a level my students can read. And there's an example of one where we did with the Dark Ages. And so this tells the story of the Vikings attacking Lindisfarne in England. And so we use this as a jumping off point. My kids and I read this in the class, we annotate it. That's big for the testing here, and the SBAC testing. Annotation, finding details. And I make sure they understand what's going on. Then we jump into Minecraft, and what I've done is I've recreated that scene for the kids to experience. And I see myself now as not just a teacher, but a designer of experiences for my kids, because they need experiences to write really well. Once they get in, though, they see that the Vikings, the story was told from the Vikings' perspective. But once they get in, they see, oh, the Vikings have already gone, and now it's just the aftermath. There are survivors. The survivors tell a little different story from a different perspective. And so we're using the journals in Minecraft and writing outside of Minecraft to take notes. They interview the survivors, and they move through this world where they're told that they have to save a sacred relic and that a young girl has been kidnapped, and they get all excited because they think they're going to go fight the Vikings and win and get her back. But they end up getting kidnapped and taken back to Norway, and they experience Viking heritage and culture that way. When we come out of the world, they write, but their writing is changed. Usually as a history teacher, the normal assignment is to give me the 5-paragraph essay on Vikings, and all the kids write the same exact things. And if you're a teacher out there, you know exactly what I mean. They say the same thing, and I'm reading 150 essays that all say the same thing. You start pulling your hair out and you start questioning why you gave that assignment. But now, because the kids get to explore the world on their own, and they don't have to go in a linear fashion, because they can interview certain people and miss certain people, they're getting their own perspective of history. The content's in there that I want them to get, but they're all writing from 150 different perspectives. And I get 150 wonderful essays that I actually enjoy reading and commenting on, because every one of them is different. Eventually, my students at the beginning of the year, believe it or not, they don't have much Minecraft experience. So I have to teach them how to play Minecraft, which is really cool, at the beginning of the year, because I get paid to teach them how to play Minecraft. But by the second semester, the world has advanced, and now we spend that in Europe. And the location that they get, what we've chosen here this year, was medieval Birmingham. And we lived in medieval Birmingham, and we got jobs in medieval Birmingham, and we built things, and we worked for people, and I used custom NPCs so that we're able to interact with kids, the characters. And they have a life. They are living a life, and they're writing about the life there, instead of me just giving them, here, memorize this. This is the social structure of medieval society. They get to actually live it. And from that experience, I get the most remarkable writing I've ever seen. Kids who struggle at the beginning of the semester and the quarter to write just a paragraph, by the end of the school year, they will have written 25 or 30 pages, typed pages, so I can read them nice and easy. And it's their own history, their own interpretation of everything we've covered. They're a character in this story that's ongoing. And I really owe that to Minecraft, because I can't imagine now teaching without it. And I've got a Minecraft unit for every unit we cover in history. We don't spend all the time in Minecraft. There's front loading involved, and I make sure the kids understand why we're going in. But then all of us who have played Minecraft know once the kids get in there, there's no pulling back. I can't do anything. They're running with it. So it has changed me as a teacher, and I know it's changed my kids, because they love writing now. And you get choked up just thinking that, because they don't at the beginning of the year, but they're not afraid of it anymore. And so whether they learn the history or not, that's one thing, but they leave my room not afraid to write. And it's because of this little game.
Thank you. Okay.
Awesome. So my name is Gabriel Yanagihara. I'm actually flying out here all the way from Hawaii. So this has been a super fun experience. I got to check out Disneyland and everything. For me, I teach 7th and 8th grade video game programming and design out at Iolani School. And one thing that was really exciting for me as a teacher is just seeing the intrinsic learning, the natural learning that takes place when kids are learning to play Minecraft on their own, right? So this is a super complicated system that our education system isn't teaching them how to do it, but they're teaching themselves. So again, I'm a teacher doing video games, and that's just my thing. And it's such a rewarding little experience. So one of the things about, before I used to teach with Scratch, and I still do, but one of the things that Minecraft caught on to me, and using video games in general in my classroom really caught on, was what games teach us, or what games taught me as a teacher about my students' experiences, in Minecraft, in Scratch, in any of the other games that they pick up. And that's, these are challenges and problems that we want them to solve, but they're choosing to solve them on their own. So there's like self-selecting into the learning process. So, yeah, so when you first open into Minecraft, it's this whole world, and you are desperate to learn about this world. So desperate that you'll go off to any means necessary to go learn about Minecraft. How do I do this? So they ask their friends, they go on YouTube, they do all these research things that we want them to do anyway without us. So we decided to harness that power towards something. And to take it even further, to see how desperate the kids were, I actually visited our lower school library, our kindergarten to 5th grade library, and the librarian was telling me that she doesn't even bother to restock the Minecraft books. She'll just bring it in, they'll check it in, she'll just put it on her table there, and they'll be gone within 15 minutes. So we go through a couple Minecraft books every year, and you can see the wear and tear and love that they get. So we really wanted to develop that love of reading through our actual in-class challenges and assignments. So to develop that love of reading, you can see how worn those books get as time goes on. For today, I'm mostly going to be talking about to parents and teachers if you have any of the project ideas. So I'm just going to share a bunch of the project ideas that we worked on, and then you guys feel free to take them, play with them, add on to them, whatever you like. So first project, 2nd to 5th grade, we do a visualize and build project. So for this one, I let them build without a plan first. So on the first day of the classes, they just go off and build, get to know each other. Those of them who aren't that strong at Minecraft, they get to explore with their friends, learn from their friends, and then we show them what they built, right? At the end of the day, we do a review. Here's what you guys all built. You built some bridges, you built a bunch of diamond, everything. And then the next day, we'll come back and say, okay, we're going to build following a plan now. So I want you guys to visualize as detailed as possible what you want to build. And then they write up all those things. So you can see there in the background, pages and pages from 2nd to 5th grade, just in as vivid detail as possible, what they want to create. And then with that project, they come back to me, talk about it a little bit, and then I would just feed back their ideas back to them. Okay. Next project, about 3rd to 8th grade. This is one I've been running for a couple years now. This is called the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage. So coming out of Hawaii, the story of the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage. The Hokulea is a double-hulled Hawaiian voyaging canoe. And currently, it's a real canoe, and it travels around the world talking about education, outreach, and programs like that. So we wanted to program for that in the kids with Minecraft. So we did that project really quickly. So same questions, and this is the template I use for all my projects, so you can use this for anything you want. First one, I asked them how they learned to play Minecraft. So each kid will come up with a list of what they used to learn Minecraft. They'll write it down for themselves, they'll turn it into me, and we'll make a master class list. But the secret of that is that each kid just handed me a customized learning lesson for how to teach that kid as efficiently as possible. So if they're a visual learner, they got all their YouTube in there. If they like reading handbooks, they'll show me all the books that they got, so they get all that stuff as well. Then you ask them what humans need to survive. In this case, you ask them like an open, broad question. And then in this case, it was what do humans need to survive? And then what did ancient Hawaiians do to solve those problems? So they did all the research, reading, and writing on that on their own so that they could show off at the end. They become aware of their own learning through that process. So they realize, oh, I didn't know this. Now I do. And then you have them write it down and record it as they go. OK, I'm going to move on a little bit. Became aware of their own learning. And here's some of the things they built. So they built some double-hulled canoes. They lived on their islands. And they had to validate and show to me through their writing what they did. So they have some of these. This is like one of the islands that they got to live on. All right, moving along a little bit. So the next one we did is the same template for a project, but the kids came to me and they wanted to learn about that new SpaceX program that was going on. So we did one on NASA and SpaceX. This is one of my intro classes. We just got to the library, took all the books from the library, just put them on a table, and then let them go nuts for a little while. They each came up with a little written response, and then they built out a Mars colony. So they got some greenhouses, communication radar antennas, observatories, solar panels, all those things that they did. Okay, so I'm going to skip a couple of these. So this is another one, which is like a local research project, same template, same idea, popping into that. So they got to research, recreate, and share that project with the world. So they recreated a town in Hawaii, put it up online for everyone to try. That's actually Mr. Surimori. He's a teacher who came in to work with me on that project. And when the bell rang, even he was still going on about how to play. Next one after that, this was a slightly older group of students, but one of the options they had, so instead of a book report or compare contrast essay, they could recreate a scene from Ender's Game in Minecraft, but they had to cite each of the details and information that they got from the book. So like on page this, paragraph 3, this is where we found the evidence for when we built the battle room, we were going to make it out of this shape and this design. And they had to do a little oral presentation at the end. So that was a really fun one as well. They really took off with that one. So one thing I want to just leave you guys with as I pass on this to the next presenter, fail faster. There's a YouTube channel that's one of my favorite. It's called Extra Credits. They have a bunch of YouTube and gaming things, but one of the things I took from them the best was fail faster. So take any of these ideas, try it out. If it doesn't work, shoot me an email, shoot me, ask Twitter, ask online, and they'll come up with some way to fix it. So try something new and let me know how it went. Thank you.
All right, there we go. All right, hello everybody. My name is Sean Fay Wolf. I'm 19 years old and I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Rhode Island. I am the author of the Elementia Chronicles, which is a series of 3 action-adventure novels that take place in the world of Minecraft, which were recently published by HarperCollins. My fellow panel members up here are doing amazing work in the field of Minecraft literacy, as you've heard them talk about so far and are going to hear them talk about more once I'm done. They really are pushing the boundaries of how Minecraft and video games in general are being used in the educational landscape. Given my claim to fame in the Minecraft community, you're probably expecting me to talk about how my book series is the missing puzzle piece that's going to magically make every child who enjoys Minecraft suddenly enjoy reading just as much. And while I certainly won't contradict you if you think that, today I'm going to talk about the topic of Minecraft literacy from a perspective that I don't think any of my fellows on the panel can provide. That being the perspective of a kid whose entire life was changed by Minecraft literacy. I began playing Minecraft about 5 years ago, right after the Adventure update, when I was 14. I had heard of Minecraft before at that point, but I had never really had any interest until my best friend finally convinced me to give it a try. I was a little bit skeptical about the game at first, when he told me that the first thing that I had to do was to punch trees for several minutes on end. But once I got past the tree punching phase, I really did fall in love with the game, and that was mostly for one big reason. All of the video games that I had played up to that point in my life, Mario, Pokemon, all of them, they'd either been one of two things. They had been a linear set of challenges or obstacles that the player had to get past in pursuit of an end goal, or an open-ended set of challenges that could be approached in any way in pursuit of an end goal. Minecraft is not like that. As I'm sure you know, there really is no set end goal in Minecraft. When I describe the game to people who have never heard of it before, I tend to tell them that it isn't as much a video game as it is more of like a virtual world, which you can explore, customize, and interact with however you see fit. It's not like other video games where you play through levels or complete objectives. You aren't prompted to do, well, really anything in the game. You're just thrown into the world, and if you're going to enjoy it, you have to figure out for yourself what your goals are. This mentality of forging your own path and figuring out for yourself how the world works and what you can do with it extends beyond just the gameplay of the game. One of the most common criticisms of Minecraft that I hear is how unforgiving it is to players who are just casual players who are just looking to pick up and play it. Indeed, if you do want to learn how to play Minecraft, you're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to look through online to find information about item functions, crafting recipes, and much more. There's an absolutely massive stockpile online, on YouTube, when talking to friends about information to how to play the game. But in my opinion, this difficulty in picking up and playing it isn't a point against Minecraft, but instead in favor of it. Because when you get right down to it, Minecraft is kind of a paradox. In a world in which the player is simultaneously in total control of their experience, but at the same time not given total free rein, in Minecraft, a player can set any rules they want for themselves, but they still need to adhere to these certain sets of rules. And it's in this way that Minecraft and literature are fundamentally similar to each other. The reason that Minecraft is able to foster literacy so effectively is not just in what the game literally is, but because of what the game fundamentally is. There were two main reasons that I felt compelled to write a story that was set in Minecraft. The first is because the world of Minecraft is interesting and dynamic enough that I felt a story set there would also be exciting and interesting. Because Minecraft is a world with certain rules that which can be customized customized to no end within those rules, it's the ideal foundation for a child's first foray into world building, which is simultaneously one of the most fun and one of the most daunting aspects of creating your own story. The second reason that Minecraft compelled me to write a story is because of what the game essentially is, a game about creativity and interactivity. When I first started Minecraft, I hadn't written any creative fiction in years, despite the fact that I've always been a very creative person. Because Minecraft is a game which is essentially creativity incarnate, it reopened my mind to the art of storytelling. After all, isn't every game of Minecraft that you play essentially its own unique story? By paving their own path as they explore the world of Minecraft, kids learn the same principles that govern writing their own stories. They learn how to be creative, develop basic storytelling skills, and in an environment that they're comfortable in. I can say from personal experience that all of this is true. I was inspired to write my first ever full-length story in Minecraft 5 years ago. Minecraft both reopened my mind to the creative possibilities of writing my own story and gave me a solid base to build it from. And it's not just me. Since I published my books, I've traveled to over 100 schools, libraries, bookstores, and more, sharing my story and telling kids that they could write their own. In all of my presentations, I don't think that there has been one where a kid hasn't come up to me afterwards and told me that they want to write their own story set in Minecraft. I truly believe that Minecraft is an absolutely incredible game, able to inspire kids in countless fields such as agriculture, engineering, and architecture. But I think that its ability to inspire in the field of literacy is one of the most powerful. I know through personal experience and through conversations that I've had with hundreds of kids across the world that Minecraft is a very powerful literary tool, and I hope that it begins to be recognized as such and used as such much more in the future.
Thank you. Right. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a bit of talking, and Victoria's going to be doing most of the talking. And we're going to talk about some of the projects that we've done together, and then also some of the projects that Victoria's done as well. So we're coming at this from an artistic kind of perspective, aren't we?
Yeah. One question I'd sort of ask myself is, how does a 45-year-old non-game playing poet end up here? I'm still asking that as I'm listening to this. And one of the answers is obviously two of the answers sitting on either side of me.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it was a necessity, an interest I wanted to share, so a passion that was obviously very important to both my son and my partner. And the other one was because I could see the importance of what was happening with the game. It appealed to me as a writer and as a poet, and I wanted to start exploring those links between poetry, literature, and Minecraft as a game, and then other games as well. So Adam, I started sort of taking more of an interest, and then started collaborating with projects with Adam.
Yeah. So the first project, a lot of the stuff that we do starts around the kitchen table, and I'll sort of very quickly, briefly talk about the Tate Worlds project. So the Tate Worlds project was something that I had no idea that was out there. There was something called,
It's the IK Prize.
The IK, thank you. The IK Prize, which is a prize where Tate Britain asks for innovative projects to do with digital stuff, okay? And it's open to anybody who's had a major project in a museum. And I was like, well, I've had a major project in a museum. And one dinner time, Victoria said, are you going to go for this? Are you going to write that stuff down? And I said, when is it? And he said, it's tomorrow. So that night, we wrote down a proposal, and you helped a lot, because I'm a bit dyslexic, and we wrote down a proposal to use Minecraft to walk into paintings and to explore fine art in Tate Britain. And amazingly enough, we actually got shortlisted for that prize, and we were up against sort of robots and kind of interactive story things online, things like that. And we got a lot of publicity about it, and it was really great. Unfortunately, the robots won. Okay. Which was because it was like a £60,000 production budget. Anyway,
Let it go.
Oh, and a £10,000 cash prize. Anyway, I know it still burns, but we didn't win. However, literally 2 weeks later, the Tate phoned us up. And they said, look, we really like the project. We are amazed, because there was a public vote on it as well. And to be honest with you, I think we got a lot of the Minecraft community voting for our project. But they felt that they couldn't, kind of do it within the Tate, within the prize. But they said, look, we've got some money, we'd like to kind of proceed with this project. We'd like you to turn some of our artworks into Minecraft worlds. And what we see up here, we see the first world that we built for them, which was The Pool of London by Andre Derain. And we reconstructed that in Minecraft with teams from around the world, and with so not only kind of with builders, but also with Minecraft mechanics, and also writing and planning. Now, it all starts, that looks amazing, doesn't it, that kind of picture, and we actually walk around the whole of London, and it's all in this kind of very bright Fauvis colours, but it starts off around a kitchen table on paper as an amazing plan. And you can see on the right-hand side the plan, and on the left-hand side the kind of Minecraft build there.
So the story that sits behind the painting is basically a walk around the area of the Pool of London. And once I started looking at that, I started researching the different pigments that the Fauvists used that were in Andre Derain's palette, and placing them in architectural and historical places on that route. And then I started getting I get really nerdy, like writer nerd. So you've got things like Prussian blue was invented by the ordnance officer at the Tower of London. So then in the map you can go into the Tower of London and you get to create Prussian blue by putting lots of chemicals together and blowing the place up if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
So that's where the interaction between myself as a writer and the game mechanics started getting really fun. I was kind of going, oh, there's this little bit of information, there's this little bit of historical fact. And then it got taken away and created into something.
Yeah.
And Adam occasionally roped us back. I think that as a writer, that ability to do a lot of research that most of you won't even notice, let's be honest, is really fun. It's a really, really fun way of working with literature.
Yeah, it's an interesting process, the map-making kind of process, because obviously sometimes the writing is not seen. And it's not seen because we just take it for granted. But in actual fact, a lot of that stuff becomes the foundation blocks for kind of all the stuff that's created by the builders and the Minecraft mechanics that kind of get associated with it. Here we've got a little slide of kind of just some of the scripts, the final scripting that we kind of produced. Now, we had to actually produce scripts because the Tate weren't going to sign off and pay us any money unless we actually had scripts so they could read it. So, I mean, I'll be happy to show people this stuff a little bit later on if you want to kind of have a chat with us as well. And you can kind of see how we've done this. So it's literally like an NPC characters, got some dialogue, what kind of things you can find. We kind of lay that whole thing out. So from some of these projects that we produced early on, and we've done several more kind of things, but we're not going to talk about the Tate World projects. We're going to talk about another project that Vic was also involved in.
So this other project is completely different. Adam and I were lucky enough to be awarded a literary platform bursary to look at how technology and literature can work together. And we wanted to look at Minecraft and poetry. My start of that was to look at the actual physical shape of poetry and the physical shape of Minecraft. And I started to look at how a poem was the blocks of the words, and then the idea that each verse was a block. And how in Minecraft, one of the things that gets done is we build houses, we build spaces. Don't we? Well, I say we, I don't. I still can't even get up a block, so I'm not going to say I can build. So I wanted to look at that idea of spaces, rooms, traveling through something. And we looked at the idea of the labyrinth. And how, right. I think you were saying, Sean, that there is no end point. So that idea with the labyrinth, that you travel around something and you are moving constantly, and you end up at the beginning, but changed. At the same time as this project happened, I was nursing my mother, who had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And one of the things I realized was I couldn't write about something, I couldn't not write about it. So I had to look at, was this okay? Was this okay really to write about this subject in Minecraft? Surely this is a children's game, this is a subject, it's too deep. And then I thought, well, actually, children experience all the same things that adults experience, and this is a way that I found of being able to write about it and to literally move through the experience of letting go of my mother. But it also allows that to be shared with other people. And for children and adults, it's a space where we can explore things that are maybe really, really difficult to do so in other places. So.
Yeah. And I think the creative arts are a space where we can express ourselves in ways where we can talk about difficult feelings and kind of grief and other bits and pieces that is the kind of human thing that we all have to kind of experience through life.
So I think the shape of the thing is that the format of it is that we move through the rooms of life as we're moving through the rooms of a house, and it was something that I was physically doing with my mother anyway. We were looking back at memories. So in the build you have paintings of my mother's that are in there, writings, little things that mean things, little that you may not know anything about, but as the person who was behind it, it meant something to me. So
we've got a video here, and hopefully the audio will work. What we're going to do is going to show you the video, and then
go into questions, right?
and then hopefully
it'll work. It's always dangerous, isn't
there we
it?
go. There you go.
In my mother's house are many rooms, each one to be closed at the end of a life. Hide away, shut out from sight, close up the curtains, cover the light. This is her leaving, her dreaming good night, each room to be closed at the end of a life. In my mother's house are many rooms, each one to visit, to retell a life. Fold away the letters we write, the words left unspoken, held up to light. This is her leaving, her slipping from sight, each room to be closed at the end of a life. In my mother's house are many rooms, each one attended to honour her life. The silk gathers dust, holds dreams of a night where the sky sang a firestorm, her love to ignite. This is her journey, her living, her fight, each room to be opened and filled with a life.
So it's a bit of a quiet bit now, but this is a downloadable map that everybody could download, and all the audio stuff is embedded within it.
In my mother's house are many rooms, each one a memory held on too tight. Roll away, try as we might, the cupboards are closing, the whispers take flight. This is her breathing, so soft in the night, each room to lay silent at the end of a life. In my mother's house are many rooms, each one a treasure to shine in the light. The shadows are turning, courage takes flight. Hush, lullaby, cradle good night. This is our holding on tight. each room to be closed at the end of a life. In my mother's house are many rooms, each one a part of us, part of our life. Sing away, celebrate right, a life that was lived, a spirit burned bright. For my mother is flying, free into the night, each room to be left at the end of a life. And we close up the windows, and we gather the chests, and we fold up the hankies and share out the rest. And I pocket the picture to take out at night. Now my mother has left us, slipped out of sight. Her house is now empty, so switch off the light and close the door quietly as we whisper good night.
Okay, so that was a little walkthrough video that was on YouTube that you can kind of experience the poem. If you haven't got Minecraft to be able to play it, anything you want to say about it? Do you want to say?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I think for us, you know, it's an emotional journey, but also it's something I feel really proud and passionate about because it kind of proves that Minecraft is a space where we can kind of explore serious issues as well as the kind of the fun and historic and kind of global issues around us. Now we're going to just talk about a little future project because we're in the United States, not just for MINECON at the moment, but we're staying in the States until November this year. And we're going to be going to Kentucky, to Bernheim Arboretum, which is a forest in Kentucky. We're going to be doing an arts residency there, the three of us, okay. We actually homeschool Django, our son, and we're going to be we're spending 6 weeks in a forest, in a cabin, recreating the forest, an arboretum, and doing workshops with the local community, but also kind of thinking about it and writing poetry and doing and kind of remapping that forest as well, both as an online Minecraft map and also something that will probably be downloadable at some point. And we'll also be vlogging and kind of making Minecraft videos along the way. That's you.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry.
So you can find out a little bit more about it from the Bernheim website.
I think this is the first time they've done this. They've had a family for starters, and also it's going to be the first time that they've had a video game as part of their artist residency. They said they're nervous about it, but they're also excited about
Very
it.
brave.
And I think that it's a lot of the things that we come across is about taking nature, gaming, and children, get them out in nature, throw them out there. Well, one thing, not every child can get into a forest, so that needs to be thought about. But also, there is a relationship between the digital and the natural, and why not bring those two things together? Instead of bringing the nature bit into the digital, we're actually kind of doing it both ways. So we are going into our very own forest biome, and we'll see what we create as a family, which is really, really exciting, I think.
It's often I think about resource material. Yeah.
I think we've said enough.
And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, now we've got about 20 minutes left, and we want to basically offer it up to you guys if you've got any questions for any of the panelists, and they've all been absolutely amazing today, talking about kind of all the different projects that we've done. So think back about what you've heard at the moment. And if you have any questions, just raise your hand. We've got some microphones in either side of the aisle, so if you want to have a question, you have to go to the either side of the aisles. I hope some of you do have some questions. So I'm going to give you just 35 seconds now to come up with a question, and that starts now.
Hi. I was curious if you guys were doing anything. I did miss the first 15 minutes of said meeting, but I was curious if you did anything overseas, any sort of overseas stuff that any of you have done. You mentioned Hawaii, but I'm talking about outside the USA.
I've done a project where, excuse me, where our unit on Japan, I teach 7th grade history, and so for a unit on Japan, I was able to work with, is actually inspired by one of Adam's videos, which I'll plug right here, 101 Ideas for Minecraft Learners. One of the videos he does is to create a story path, and so I took that idea with poetry. And for our unit in Japan, I had my kids create poems. So instead of building something in Minecraft, I wanted them to manipulate the environment instead. And as you're walking through the path, the lines of the poems as you step on the command blocks would appear. And so it was Tonka poetry, Japanese Tonka poetry. And it turned out really well. And I was able to work with a teacher in Hawaii that taught Japanese culture to 7th graders, but then also we teamed up with a professor in Japan who ran a Minecraft server where he taught Japanese. You join the Minecraft server and you'll learn 100% of the time in the server. And so we got to go visit his server, and the kids got to learn from that, not just Japanese culture, but also Japanese architecture and design. And this year we're branching out even more. We hope to work with a school in Australia as well as the UK on some projects too.
Well, you can count me in as another Japanese professor to join up with you, because
Yeah.
I am actually I'm living in Japan, teaching in Japan right now, university, so I am a professor. And but I do more with the ESL route myself, so it'll be interesting to collaborate with you guys. I already talked to you a little earlier about that.
I'll give him a plug. It's James York. Some of you may know him, and he's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions out there, ladies and gentlemen?
Hi, I'm interested to know if your history curriculum is available for parents and teachers.
As a teacher, I believe in reflecting all the time, so I blog on all the projects I do. So the blog is edtechworks.com, and I'll give you a card here after if you want.
Great.
And so the ideas are all there. And I spend a lot of time preparing these worlds, but the interesting thing to me is when the next year comes around, I look at them and I say, that was cool, but I can make this even better. So I'm always revamping these things, even though I may have spent hours creating them. Mm-hmm. But it's, that's what teachers do, right? We create lessons and design experiences.
Thank you.
Just go up there. Just go up there. Go up. Stand up.
I have a question for Django. Django, I wonder what it's like to be homeschooled by parents who are artists. Do you think that you're having some really cool experiences that most kids your age don't have?
Well, sometimes I just don't want to be with parents who are artists, but sometimes it is cool, but sometimes I don't want to be with parents who are artists.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
First time.
Yeah. Because what else is there? Yeah, Hi, yes.
When you guys teach, what mod do you use? Do you use Minecraft DDU, or do you use custom commands or something? What do you use
Okay.
when you teach?
I use custom NPCs I can't really live without. They're fabulous.
Yeah, same here. We do a mix of the Minecraft education and the custom NPCs if we do like a vanilla server. Especially doing like the survival one with the Hawaiian Islands one, where we throw them on the island and they gotta survive. So that's just straight up vanilla, no mods for that one.
Sean, what version of Minecraft did you play when you were kind of inspired? I just want to.
The Elementary Chronicles series is set in vanilla Minecraft, and that's because I personally, play vanilla Minecraft the most. I have dabbled with mods, but for the most part, I just think that vanilla Minecraft is like just an excellent balance of survival and creativity. So I actually, when I first started writing the series, I decided to actually set the series in the version of the game that was out when I first started playing it. So book 1 is actually set in vanilla Minecraft 1.3, and then book 2 is set in Minecraft 1.4, and then book 3 is set in Minecraft 1.5. So as time passes in the book, the there are updates to the game, and more things are added. So I tried to reflect that.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's going to be amazing adding llamas to this llama update. I mean, exploration update. But let's call it a llama update, right?
Yes.
Llama update.
Llamas. Llama update. Let's just call it all a llama update.
Yes.
And the thing is, when we've got a studio, and we do invite kids and other kind of young people to come and play at our studio, don't we, Django?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're not doing much of that.
At the moment, no, because
Yeah,
we're in
we're here.
America.
We are here.
But we often, it's very open-ended, and what we've noticed is that a lot of young people play Pocket Edition. What do you guys play? Do you play Pocket Edition a lot? All of them?
All of them.
Okay. Xbox, everything. But there's a lot of there's a lot of people who play Pocket Edition. We also bring some Xbox stuff in there as well, and of course the PC Edition, the kind of a classic PC Edition too.
Yeah. Classic PC.
Hi.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
So my question's from a poetry perspective. Outside of video games, have you looked at other projects or know of other projects that connect coding and poetry? I'm curious to see, as an English teacher, what might there be out there that are kind of go in that same realm?
At moments like this, I always have that thing where somebody asks you the last book you read, and everything just disappears out of your head. But there are some very good examples out there, and somebody has done something that it is specifically about coding and poetry. And there was an article in that Alpha, I don't know. There was an article about. You'll have to Google it, but there was an article that we were in about my mother's house that also had a whole list of the other projects that were combining that kind of thing together. So if you kind of Google it that way, you'll get there.
Yeah.
But my mind has kind of gone completely blank with you asking that.
Yeah.
So-
go on.
So with other projects that you can do, we for our lower school area, there are a couple other projects. We use Scratch a lot to do interactive poetry. Because Scratch is just a block-based coding thing, very easy. You can get it, K first grade even. Just get them play around. There's even Scratch Junior, but we have them build a code-based poetry thing there as well. If you want more like circuitry stuff, definitely like any of the Arduino Uno or Makey, which is kind of like just you connect the circuits with like copper tape, and you can have like LEDs turn on and stuff as they go through their poem. So there's some really cool projects. I'll just check out YouTube. There's a bunch of preset ones that you can do.
Yeah, actually, I know someone there's a conductive kind of thing, and they make poetry posters. So basically, and you can record MP3s and load it onto this little Arduino thing, and wherever you touch it on the poster, will play the word or will play the phrase. So you can kind of remix things on the fly, and it's very, very enjoyable to kind of think about poetry in that way. Think about it as a sort of that cut-up kind of word play as well. Not only that, but you can also tell stories, sound effects, and other bits and pieces like that too.
So I'm a therapist in the school system and work primarily with kids on the spectrum. And I have a difficult time often having teachers buy into using Minecraft or other resources for learning. And so I would like to have just some recommendations from the panel on how to use it as the tool rather than as a reward. Because oftentimes they'll say, well, after they do the work that I want them to do, then they've earned time to do Minecraft. So kind of a buy-in as to the value of using the system for the learning itself, not for the reward at the end.
Yeah. John?
Look at me.
Over to you.
John?
Yeah, I've Last year, on our campus, we have a classroom from the county office that's severely disabled kids. And I've had success as, I think, teachers that have used Minecraft. It applies to everybody. It's amazing. It applies to everybody. So I've had success from kids, special ed kids, up to GATE kids, and all levels and all abilities. And that program is separate on our campus because it's run by the county. So it's odd that they're there, but they're not there. So I reached out to the teacher and I said, could we come on my prep period on Thursdays, come on in and let's just play some Minecraft with them. And she thought, oh, why not? She'd heard about it. And so she came in and the kids are playing, and some of them had already played before, so they didn't need any expertise from me or instruction. And after the third week there, she leans to me and she says, you know what? I've never seen the kids this focused before. And I said, yeah. And she brought up what you just said. She said, you know, we should get some iPads and get the game on the iPads, and then I can use it for a reward for them. And I said, no, get the iPads, that's right, but it's not a reward. Let's set some goals for your kids and that are attainable in Minecraft, and let's find something that they want to achieve. Whether it be they want to be able to tell us a simple story about what they've created, or they want to be able to work on their spatial organizations. What do you want to get from them? So that's where we're trying this year. I'm excited because we're going to try it for the first time next week, and she's going to work it into their plans. But otherwise, it was just thought of as, oh, we'll just kill some time and play Minecraft. But all of us here, it's much deeper than that. We all know that. And that would be an area of interest. I didn't see the session this morning. I really wanted to on the hospital use of Minecraft in therapy. Did anybody see that here?
You can watch on YouTube.
Yeah, because that fascinates me. Can we create Minecraft worlds in a hospital setting for kids that in that case physically are in pain and suffering, or emotionally? I think Minecraft's ripe for that. I'd love to be involved in any project around those.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I just wanted to do a quick die-in. So for ours, so over at Iolani School, I'm very fortunate to have a whole lot of teachers who are way gung-ho about trying new things. So it's very easy to have like come on over and play Minecraft with me for a lunch period. But really what sold it to the larger campus and to just the community in general was just the kids. So if you have one or two success stories with the kids where the kid built something and he was so excited to show it, and he just, when they wake up and they're alive and they just want to like, oh, check out what I built, see what I built. Having 2 or 3 of those examples where they can be the ones to convince the teacher, all right, let me try this for one project. Like, just let me get my foot in the door with one project, and then when the teacher sees that, what's happening in the classroom with that, they can hop over, try it a second time, and then a third time, and soon enough they'll be emailing you, asking you for more lesson plans as the days go on.
And I think if you want go to Minecraft Education Edition, just Google that, or Bing that. Okay, Microsoft. You'll find testimonials and other kind of resources online as well, and you can use these kind of resources that you'll find online with the Minecraft Education Edition to help you make arguments for the use of Minecraft within an educational kind of context, rather than just as a reward for being good, or for doing this, that, and the other. So that's probably a great thing. If you need people to write that down, come and talk to us just afterwards. We're going to be clearing out this room, obviously, for the end thing. But come find one of us, or get a card of one of us as well. Sean, have you got anything to?
I just want to say that I think that what a lot of teachers do need to realize about Minecraft, or at least those who are hesitant to realize, is that not only does the game have all the potential to be used in all of these amazing ways, but also kids are so passionate about it that it's going to lead them to be willing to try things that that they wouldn't be willing to try otherwise. Like, if I can use my own books as an example, I've seen in classrooms, there are kids, not just in classrooms, but I've heard from parents and relatives that there are these kids who are 8, 9, 10, just these kids in elementary school who don't like reading, but they do like Minecraft. They've never read a really big book before, and then they hear that there's this book that takes place in Minecraft, and then they read the entire thing. This is a book that is over 500 pages long that kids in late elementary school, or sometimes even early elementary school, I've heard kids as young as 1st and 2nd grade reading this book because they like Minecraft. They are willing to give it a chance because it is in Minecraft. So I think that just the power of Minecraft as a draw to get kids interested in something just cannot be overstated. It really is incredible.
Vic?
I think there is value of the practice of just sitting with, I know it's probably very difficult in an educational setting, but just sitting with a child and allowing them to lead you, especially if that is a situation where that child is not necessarily forthcoming with wanting to talk about things or is going to find that way of communicating difficult. There's a novel that's just come out, A Boy Made of Blocks, and I always get two Stuarts mixed up, so I'm going to ask you which one it is. Anyway, and that it's a fictional account, but the author, a fictional account of a father's experience of playing Minecraft with his son, who is on the autistic spectrum, and it was also, there was a lot of personal stuff that went into that with the author, and I think that it's just a space where maybe whoever is taking that session can step back a bit and actually allow the child to show them how they want to use it, and a level of trust needs to be there to let that happen. So.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well, just sort of chipping in there, so today, we had Vu reading out loud, having a little story time on the opening ceremony, that they've got an official book, and that's really interesting for Minecraft and for the kind of Minecraft literature, that there is an official book. They've seen the value of it, and there are lots of books. I think we're going to see a lot of different kind of bits of literature coming out in the next 2-3 years that have been inspired by Minecraft. There's a film on its way as well. There's all these sort of different bits of media that are coming out. And of course, our children, our young people have been watching YouTube videos that are basically storytelling from lots of different talented YouTubers for many years. So I think that's going to be an interesting kind of point as well for us to kind of absorb and to reflect upon. We've got a couple of minutes left, so we've probably got one more question from anybody out there in...
Anyone?
Anyone?
Oh.
Can I just say it was Keith Stewart, by the way?
Keith Stewart.
I knew I'd get the Stewarts
he wrote
mixed up.
A Boy Made of Blocks.
And I just have to point out that the reading was actually yesterday at the opening ceremony. This is the last day of MINECON, so it was yesterday.
Where does he get it from?
You.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Last question, thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned teaching kids to write, but you also use it to teach about history and getting them interested in history to go out and find information by themselves and read about history events.
You're right. Yeah, I give them at the beginning. We go through and look at materials, kind of that standardized materials that we have to cover. But I try to turn that into something more interesting, put it in more of a story form rather than just a list of boring facts about medieval China, so that it becomes part of their story that they've bought into. I start with this next couple of weeks on our spaceship, our time-traveling spaceship. They're going to meet a griot who's a West African storyteller, and the griot is going to empower them to become storytellers. And so that's the perspective they're taking, is when they're making these time jumps, that they have to record history because it may be lost. So that gives them a little more incentive to pay attention. I love showing videos, multimedia, as well, and we listen to a lot of like podcasts and things to try to reach every kid as much as I can before we dive in to the worlds.
So,
So yeah, we do a similar discovery section with ours, where we, like you said, let them go out with a bunch of preset materials, but also just letting them go off further than that, right? If they need a library pass or anything, just go discover. We hand it off that way. One project that we did was world governments. So that one was a bit mixed in with the history and world geography classes, but they wanted to emulate emulate a world government in Minecraft. So that was just the problem we gave them, and then we gave them a lot of time to go do the self-discovery thing, right? So if you just give them like a little hint, like, okay, you can do this in Minecraft later, but you need to have the information available to yourself to kind of do a good job at it, right? Because we're going to be sharing this online with everybody, so that's their incentive to like, okay, I'm going to read all this content, and I'm going to figure it out to, how to run my democracy in Minecraft, how votes and all that going to be done. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And I'd just like to give everybody a round of applause on our panel. We've been most excellent today. And we've just run out of time, I'm afraid. But thank you very much. If you've got any questions, we'll be shutting down and walking out, so you can either walk out with us and talk to us a little bit later on, or connect with us on Twitter and all the other kind of social media places as well. Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.